the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
City News.
This is the Election Bureau. Hello and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Ajuatin Krama Domina. Coming up, EC OK's 13 aspirants to contest in December 7 presidential elections, including Nana Kwame Bediako, alias Cheddar, will tell you who made the list and who did not. Meanwhile, later this evening, the 13 qualified individuals are expected to choose their positions on the ballot paper. Stay with the Election Bureau for more on this. Also coming up, 7 civil society groups, including Arocha Ghana, seeks court injunction to halt mining and prospecting in forest reserves.
We are also asking the High Court to grant an interlocutory injunction to halt the issuance of any further permits or licenses under the disputed LI 2462 regulations allowing mining activities in forest reserves.
Still in the bulletin, staff of the Northern Electricity Distribution Company NEDCO protest against proposed draft bill to merge Volta River Authority and We Power.
The bill seeks to take away the thermal assets of VNRA and hand it over to a private man. We will use all legitimate means available at our disposal to fight it.
And later in the bulletin, Chieftaincy Ministry warns all government institutions against dealing with any person or group of persons under the membership of the LAT Traditional Council as it suspends operations of the council. We have details of these and more stories coming your way in the next 30 minutes. Remember, the news is live across the globe on citynewsroom.com. Around the country, we are live on a number of affiliate stations. If you're in the Western region, this is Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, this is J Live 95.5 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, tune into Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi. Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM in Tajabu. In the Northern region, tune into Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In Upper East, this is Tanga 93.7 FM in Bolga. And in Upper West, this is Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
A very warm welcome to you to the program. This is the Election Bureau. Now, this afternoon, the Electoral Commission has cleared 13 presidential aspirants to contest in the 2024 general elections. Now, the Commission, in a statement, said the aspirants were subjected through thorough and rigorous processes following the submission of their nomination forms. I'm joined in studio by Head of Current Affairs Programming at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Fred Tete Jabano, who has a copy of the EC statement to tell us more. Fred, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Ajwa.
Walk us through who made this list.
So, Ajwa, per what the EC released, I'm going to go through the list according to what the EC released as to be the people who have qualified to be on the ballot sheet for the 2024 election. But before we do that, we indicate that there are 9 political parties which qualified to be on the ballot and 4 independent candidates, making 13. This is going to be the highest number we've had on the ballot sheet in the Fourth Republic. So let me go through the names and we'll go through some breakdowns. The first name on the EC sheet was Mahamadou Bawumia of the New Patriotic Party, John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, Alan John Kojo Tremantin, independent candidate, Christian Kwabena Andrews, Ghana Union Movement, Daniel Augustus Latte Jr., Ghana Consolidated Popular Party, George Chumberima Edu, independent candidate, Nana Kwame Bediako, independent candidate, Ikiadonko, Ghana Freedom Party, Hassan Abdullahi Ayariga, All People's Congress, Kofi Apalo, Liberal Party of Ghana, Mohamed Frimpong, National Democratic Party, Nana Akosua Frimpong Kumankuma, Convention People's Party, and Kofi Cranton, independent candidate. These are the 13 people who have qualified to be on the ballot for the 2024 elections.
We know
it
there
must
were
be
more
noted
than
that there were 23 who actually filed their nominations to contest. Out of the 23, 10 have been disqualified. So we have 13. This will send you back to 2016 when some candidates were disqualified. This included Dr. Indum of the PPP at the time, and the APC, Ayariga, Hassan Ayariga, Nana Kunedo Ajman Rollins of the NDP. They went to court to challenge the decision of the EC. They first went to the High Court. The High Court ordered the EC to give them an opportunity to correct their mistakes. At the time, the EC came to explain the reasons why they were disqualified, and some of them included signatures which had messed up and ID numbers of voters' card which did not match. These were some of the reasons the EC gave at the time in 2016.
Before you go to the list of the people who didn't qualify and the surprises in there, I'm sure the EC is this afternoon meeting the people, so they will give the reasons why these people have been disqualified.
Hopefully the EC would give that reason, the reasons why they've disqualified these people. So let's go back to the list and see a breakdown. For the first time, we are having 4 independent candidates on the ballot. These independent are Alan Tremantin, Nana Kwame Bediako, George Chum, Berima Edu, and Kofi Cranton. These are the 4 independent candidates who appear on the ballot sheet come December 7, 2024.
Now, out of this list, who surprised you the most to have made the list before we go to those who have been disqualified?
Who surprised me the most to have made the list?
Yes.
Actually, I wouldn't say someone surprised me the most. If Alan Tremantin and Kwame Bediako were not there, I would have been surprised. That would have been the biggest story for the day. But it looks like they are there. There are a section of the public which believe who didn't believe Nana Kwame Bediako would make
the list.
So there's some surprise amongst a section of the general public. But for me, I was not really surprised at Nana Kwame Bediako, looking at his trajectory over the last few months and the kind of things he had done. It would have been shocking to know that he didn't meet the criteria to be on the presidential ballot sheet. But he's there. There's George Chum Berima Edu. He is a businessman, lived in the United States for a while. He's come back to Ghana to run as president. And his friend, also from the United States, Kofi Cranton,
is also on the list.
Also appearing for the first time. He tried in 2020, but was unsuccessful. But he's on the list. Now let's go to the notable absentees. The notable absentees. The first name which comes is Bernard Mona of the PNC.
Surprising?
Very surprising.
Why?
I mean, the PNC has been a political party which has contested elections since '92. You expect that by now they would have understood and learned the process of nominations and filing of nominations. Because if you've been doing this since '92, you should know what to do and what not to do. But there's also the issue of the time they elected their flag bearer. They elected their flag bearer about 2 or 3 days before nominations closed. And you recall that Bernard Mona, before even filing his nomination, went a day before. He couldn't file. He had to come the last day of the nominations to file. So that was quite some issue there. But it's surprising that the PNC could not make it. We're waiting to hear the EC's reasons for the PNC not being able to make it. Janet Nabla, will I call it surprising? No, and not too surprising, especially because she planned to go on a party ticket, which was a new party, PNP. But that party couldn't complete the formation and the registration of that party with the EC. So now she needed to go as an independent candidate. What's happening now is that she's been disqualified. So neither her party or she as an individual and an independent would appear on the ballot sheet. The third surprising party actually is the PPP, the Progressive People's Party. In 2016, they led a charge after they were disqualified, went to court and found themselves back on the ballot. In 2024, they've been disqualified once again, this time not led by their founder, Pakwesi Indum, but Kofi Asamoah-Siang, the former national secretary of the party, former deputy vice running mate of the party, and now presidential candidate. He has been disqualified, couldn't make it onto the sheet.
Very well. Fred, you mentioned that in 2020, some people filed an appeal against the disqualification.
In 2016.
Yes. Are we likely to see the same thing repeated?
I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some of these people head to the court to get the court to intervene. But as I said, we still do not know the reasons for the disqualification. And there's a difference between 2016 and 2020. In 2016, right after the end of the nomination, which was 2 days, the EC announced the list of people who had qualified, or the people who had qualified to be on the ballot sheet. But this time around, since 2020, after the 2016 incident, the EC revised its notes. So this time they gave a longer period for filing and a longer period to correct every mistake, errors that would be on your document. And you recall that during the nominations, the EC chairperson indicated that they would reach out to them if they think there are issues for them to correct.
Right.
And this thing was done, the completion was last week. It's been 1 week. So I think there's been ample time given to these candidates to correct their mistakes. And finally, before I go, let me indicate that for the very first time, we have Ike Adonko has tried to be on the ballot for so long. She's never been successful. She's now successful in 2024. You also have what's his name? The gentleman Kofi Apalu also tried. He's not been successful, and would also have 2 female presidential candidates in 2024.
Well, Fred, thank you. We wait to see how this unfolds, but we understand that the EC is later tonight meeting the 13 people who have qualified to pick their positions on the ballot. Yes,
so per the law, there needs to be balloting. So the 13 political parties would be there to ballot as to who would be and what position they would be on the ballot paper. Usually these numbers would now get the political parties to ship a message to their to the electorates as to where they have been found. So you see One Touch, Asieho, and all those things. So that makes the election quite interesting.
Exciting days ahead. Thank you so much. Fred Tejabano is head of current affairs programming here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. But you'd want to stay with your election bureau for updates on this in our subsequent programming. But let's stay in politics now. The NDC chairman for Gomoa West, Alhaji Mohammed Kasim, and 2 others who were arrested have been granted bail by the Cape Coast Circuit Court 2. The 3 were arrested for disrupting the inauguration of the District Road Improvement Project in Gomoa West. According to the acting Central Regional Secretary for the NDC, Eric Ofe, the lawyers for the accused pleaded with the court to refer the matter to alternative dispute resolution for amicable settlement, which was granted, adding that the parties will report to the court on October 18, 2024 for deliberations.
We made the prayer and same was granted, after which we prayed the court to refer the matter to the alternative dispute resolution for an amicable resolution of the matters in issue and report same to the court. True to that, the court acceded to our request, and the accused persons are to reappear on the October 18th after having been granted bail. Particularly with respect to the first accused person, Alhaji Mohammed Kasim, who is the constituency chairman for Gomoa West constituency of the NDC, was granted bail in the sum of 20,000 cedis with 1 surety to be justified, whilst the other 2 were also granted bail with 1 surety to be justified and in the sum of 10,000 Ghana cedis each.
You heard Eric Ofe's lawyer for chairman of the NDC, chairman in Gomoa West. Let's move away from that now. A leading environmental group, Arocha Ghana, has joined forces with 6 other civil society organizations to sue the government over mining activities in forest reserves. The coalition, which includes Casa Ghana, Eco-Conscious Citizens, Nature and Development Foundation, Civic Response and Media Coalition Against Galamsey, is deeply concerned about the devastating impact of mining in these protected areas. Now, further, according to the group, the passage of LI 2462 in 2022, which permits mining in Ghana's forest reserves, has resulted in widespread destruction and threatens the livelihood of many Ghanaians. Now, at an emergency press briefing at Arocha head office in Accra, Deputy National Coordinator of Arocha Ghana, Daro Bosu, emphasized that their primary objective is to secure an injunction to halt mining and prospecting in forest reserves in the country.
We contend that the said LI 2462 is inconsistent with the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, and the Forest Act 1927, Cap 157, which expressly prohibits the granting of mineral rights and forest reserves. Additionally, the LI is a bad law. It contradicts Ghana's progressive framework for natural resource management for the last 25 years, and it erodes protection for forest reserves in Ghana. We are also asking the High Court to grant an interlocutory injunction to halt the issuance of any further permits or licenses under the disputed LI 2462 regulations allowing mining activities in forest reserves. We're also asking to restrain any person or entity holding such licenses from carrying out mining activities in forest reserves. And then thirdly, to prevent the exercise of any presidential powers to approve mining in globally significant biodiversity areas, pending the court's determination of the case. Legal action, in our view, aligns with our shared commitment to environmental conservation and the protection of Ghana's natural resources for current and future generations. We believe that the country's development must not come at the expense of its environment.
That's the Deputy National Coordinator of Arocha, Ghana, Daro Bosu. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. When we return, government institutions warned against dealing with any person or group affiliated under the La Traditional Council as the Chieftaincy Ministry suspends operations of the council. We'll bring you details of that and other stories shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Get ready for the ultimate battle of business minds at the Citi Business Olympics 2024. Join us for a day of intense competition, team building, and networking as companies go head to head in the various challenges to prove their skills and expertise. From traditional sports like seven-a-side football, basketball, sack race, and volleyball to unique challenges like tug of war and arm wrestling, there's no shortage of excitement and adrenaline pumping action. Don't miss out on this exciting event that will test your business acumen and athletic skills on the field. Date Saturday 28th September 2024. Venue Eden Heights Sports Complex, Wager. Time 8 a.m. Call 0558-973-973 for details on how you can participate and showcase your company's talents at the Citi Business Olympics 2024. Get ready to compete, collaborate, and conquer. The Citi Business Olympics 2024 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Beaver Beverages, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Bethel Logistics, experts in shipping logistics, and Luzati Lozenges from Unicom Chemist Limited.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Let's bring you some other stories this afternoon. Now, the National Inland Canoe Fishermen Council has expressed concern about the negative effect of illegal mining, which continues to threaten aquatic life in the country. The council explains that major rivers in the Savannah, Eastern, and Bono East regions are being severely affected by illegal mining, leading to a sharp decline in the fish stock. National President of the Inland Canoe Fishermen Council, Jacob Kabori Tete, speaking on the sidelines of an engagement with the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development in Kumasi, called for action to protect Ghana's water bodies.
The catches have reduced, and even some of the illegal miners are using weapons to make sure that our people even move out from their communities. Sometimes even the fishing grounds and when we land or around the black water, the places where they mine, on the savannah, that is the Banda side and the savannah areas on the black water, they actually use weapons to even make sure that our people who live in the communities leave the area for them to mine. And this is what is happening.
You heard the national president of the Inland Canoe Fishermen Council, Jacob Kabori Tete, will stay with Galamsey as Kronti of a Swom Nana Bwedi Ampom Menim Abodade III has appealed to President Akufo-Addo to take decisive action against illegal mining and reform the sector before his term ends. In an interview with City News, Nana Abodade III expressed his frustration over the disappointment in the devastation ongoing from illegal mining on the Asum community. Now, he highlights the blatant disregard for regulations, citing instances where individuals with prospecting licenses are misusing them and those without contracts are freely destroying the environment. Specifically, he mentioned AC Zenon, which has refused to comply with the community's demand to stop operations and reclaim the lands.
Barely a week after the youth of Isium in the eastern region expelled illegal miners from their community, it is alleged that the miners have returned, this time accompanied by military personnel, to intimidate and abuse the youth. The Kontihini of Isium revealed that the companies operating in the area lack the necessary or complete documentation to mine and have been extending their operations beyond the boundaries permitted for prospecting, causing severe environmental damage.
If you ask me how difficult it is, that is how difficult it is. You become an automatic enemy to all the people that I have listed, from the Minerals Commission to the police, to the chiefs who support it, to the people who are the ones who brought the Chinese people to be in the town. Your life is in danger. These people carry around guns and weapons as if we are at war. And no policeman stops them. If you are the lone person to fight, you will find a lot of stress, suffering, persecution, and all that. I thank the people of Asum, especially the youth, that they have seen the light and they are now leading in the fight against this. One of the reasons why I'm happy you are here today is because in going around to inspect whether the people are doing the mining or not, they came upon Madam Aminata Hiru, and she had soldiers who seemed to be doing her bidding. So as a matter of fact, they brutalized some of the youth, detained them, got them to sit even in the mud.
In an interview with Channel 1 News, the Kontihini expressed frustration, accusing key stakeholders, including the police, Minerals Commission, and the Environmental Protection Agency, of being complicit in the illegal activities with the support of some chiefs.
People that have prospecting license are using it. People that have contracts for concessions are just using the paper and, by care of, destroying wherever they go. You see, it's a huge battle for this country because AC Zenon, which is Aminata Hiru's company, and I am not scared to mention, it is alleged that she is a brother of Abu Junapo. So therefore, she can just go and a concession will be signed for her just like that. As we speak today, the youth of Asum, after telling all of them to stop work, go back, reclaim all the destruction you have caused, and most of them obliged, Madam Aminat Ahiru is saying she will not oblige. As a matter of fact, she has military men today, as we speak, at her site, protecting it whilst they mine.
He shared a direct message.
So you had the Krontihine of Esuom Nana Bwedi Ampomenim Abodade the third, and then that report filed by my colleague Fred Duho. Well, the company mentioned has been responding and has refuted the allegations of engaging in illegal mining activities. During a site visit, the CEO of the company, Hajia Amina Tahiru, said her mining lease was legitimate. She further says that the Esuom Krontihine is only embittered after the company refused to succumb to his personal demands against a collective community agreement.
First of all, I've shown you my documents. Secondly, I've shown you how the operation is done. I don't even have single one cocoa tree around me here. And with all the lands that have been mined, were compensated, duly compensated with a proper agreement given to the farmers. They signed, we signed as a company, and we take over the land. And we even give them a duration, how long we want to sit on their lands to mine and put it back and give it to them. I've taken you through at the back there to show you some of the lands we've already mined and covered up. If the farmers want to come and do their plantation tomorrow, they can start it immediately.
Chief Executive Officer of ACZN Unlimited, Hajia Amina Tahiru. Away from Galamsey, the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs and the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs have suspended the operations of the La Traditional Council with immediate effect from September 26, 2024. The move, according to the institutions, is to allow for proper measures to be put in place for smooth running of the council. Now, a statement issued by the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs cautioned all government institutions to desist from dealing with any person or group of persons purporting to act for the La Traditional Council. It further states that all paramount to land-related issues must be put on hold pending the operation of the La Traditional Council or the installment of a new La Paramount Chief. Now, staff of the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, are wearing red bands in protest against a proposed draft bill that seeks to restructure Ghana's power sector. The bill aims to merge the Volta River Authority, the VRA, with the Bui Power Authority, combine the Electricity Company of Ghana with NEDCO, and establish an independent thermal power authority. Now, NEDCO staff argue that merging their company with VRA will not resolve the country's power distribution challenges. They further claim that the government's failure to consult key stakeholders before drafting this bill raises suspicion of ulterior motives behind the proposed measure. Now, in a strong statement, NEDCO staff vowed to take decisive action if their concerns are not addressed, calling for immediate steps to protect both the interests of the company and Ghanaians. Charles Phillips is the chairman of the Senior Staff Association of NEDCO.
We are here to register our displeasure at the measure bills being sent to Parliament. We feel that we, being stakeholders, were not consulted in the draft bill. Sure. It is a practice that every draft bill, after drafting it, you discuss with the stakeholders, take their inputs before you send it to Parliament for consideration. Yes. This was not done. We feel they have some ulterior motive. That is why this was not done. Apart from this, we feel that the bills are not in the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian. Why are we saying that? Sure. The bill seeks to take away the thermal assets of VRA and hand it over to a private man. As we speak, all the private independent power producers are selling their power at 45 Ghana pesos. VRA's thermal power is being sold at 19 pesos. If you send it to the private man, he is also going to jack it up, and they are going to hold the country to ransom. Sure. Electricity is a national security issue, and we must all take interest. We are urging all Ghanaians, all well-meaning and informed Ghanaians, to back us, and we'll fight this.
Well, the group does not disclose how they intend to fight this, but they say they will use all legitimate means to oppose this proposed measure.
Our next moves will not be disclosed. We've sent petitions to the presidency, to the vice president, chief of staff, and other CSOs. We are praying that they listen to our plead and then act appropriately. We will use all legitimate means available at our disposal to fight it. We are not going to do any illegitimate action, but we'll use all legitimate means to fight it. We are not disclosing our next moves to the government.
You heard Charles Phillips, he's chairman of the Senior Staff Association at the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NETCO. Now, before we go, the Ghana Education Service has issued a caution to senior high and senior technical schools to cease all graduation ceremony processes, including money collection. The warning was contained in a statement to all regional directors to pass down to all head teachers of secondary schools to ensure full compliance. Now, the service further noted that appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against any head who fails to comply. And on that note, we wrap up on today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. Do log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domna. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959.